Woke up today to something that I didn't expect to see, which is the Quartering talking about videos taken down from his channel, as well as Tim Pool having several of his videos taken down, and many other content creators are experiencing the same thing. And the reason I didn't expect it to see is because these individuals are very milquetoast commentators. They are very careful with what they say and how they phrase things. Specifically, due to the fact that they are very aware with how YouTube terms of service works. And in the case of the Quartering, he even has people that work at YouTube and informs him about certain trends. Like he came out and he said, well, the contact that I have at YouTube told me to make more shorts. So clearly there is a line that bigger content creators have with YouTube that other people do not. Which is why it's interesting, right? Like, I didn't expect his videos to be taken down. I guess this is a snap decision that was made by the higher-ups at YouTube. And I guess it may have targeted specifically their channels because I don't know exactly what they did, which got their videos removed. It seems that all of the videos are on the topic of transgenderism, and many people suspect that this has something to do with Dylan. Now, it is possible because, honestly, I found it very interesting that within a couple of months, Dylan Mulvaney was in a lot of commercials. Like, a lot of companies, Adidas, Tampax, Bud Light, and many others chose Dylan as their representative. And I was a little bit baffled because I was wondering, like, are there no other trans people out there? Like, I understand Dylan has a TikTok channel, and because of that, they may be viewed as an influencer and they're popular, but like surely there are other trans people. Like surely you can hire other individuals. But I guess like they're very well connected is the only thing that I can imagine. And if they're very well connected, it is possible that they reached out to YouTube and asked for the platform to take measures. This is a hypothesis. Like I don't have any ability to prove it. But in fact, I do not believe that Dylan is responsible for this, especially the videos taken down, because there are other videos criticizing of Mulvaney which are still up. So this leads me to the second possibility, which is what I think, is that this is now hurting the corporate environment. So what I mean by this is that for the first time in a decade, I would say, I noticed a major corporation trying to please conservatives. This is not normal. Like, this is not something that is happening. Usually, companies try to please left-leaning people. And they try to go out of their ways to antagonize conservatives. If you look at Marvel Comics, right? Like, they go on and they call their viewers sexist, misogynistic, racist. Like they go after their own customers in the hopes of generating buzz on the internet, because conservatives and right-wingers will start outrage clicks and they will share the articles, and this generates the buzz required for people to talk about the product. And then whenever it's about left-leaning people, they treat them with kids' gloves. Like immediately you had an apology from the director of the Marvel movies saying that, oh, well, we should have been more careful with how we casted the mentor of Doctor Strange. Disney was very careful about how they casted the characters in Aladdin, right? And this is the same company that casts a Black Ariel. Like, it's done on purpose. It is a marketing tactic. Upset right-wingers, upset conservatives, because they don't organize boycotts. They're not good or efficient at doing it. So antagonize them. When they get upset, you have people on the left defending you, and that generates people talking about the product. Like, if I were to do this type of marketing, I would hire a black woman to promote my channel, right? I would have like a short 30 seconds ad with a black woman talking about how amazing my channel is. Now, when people go online and they say, well, I don't like V's voice, he's very squeaky, I don't understand his accent, I think his opinions are that of a brainlet, then immediately I get to call them sexist and racist, right? Like, that is the marketing tactic that is being done. Now, of course, the black woman would have been an excellent pick during the BLM protests, A Muslim man would have been a better pick during 2016. Now I should go with a transgender person to promote my channel. Like, it really depends on the flavor of the year and whatever it is that's popular within that particular time. But like, that is the strategy. You create, you force in the controversy in order to have people talking about it, right? Blizzard is a perfect example of a company that brilliantly managed to market this. They have created one of the most ugly, disturbing, disgusting character creators in any video games that I have ever seen, right? And people immediately forgot the controversy that they were involved with, the lawsuits, the broken products that they released, like Warcraft 3 Refucked, the controversy regarding the China and Hong Kong, the don't you guys have phones bullshit. All of that is being washed away because now people are defending. It's like, no, like the Blizzard character editor like creates some of the most wonderful women that I have ever seen in my life, and anyone that disagrees is a sexist. And then you have the other people going like, what's wrong with you? Like, can't you see how ugly it is? Like, this is what wokeness does to companies. And people are talking about that and completely ignoring all the other controversies that the company has been mired in, right? Like, this is how you make business in modern day America. But in order for this to happen, you need to have one side being completely powerless. So, for example, the right-wingers, right? Like, they don't boycott, they don't harm, they don't do anything, right? The only thing they do is that they may silently choose not to buy your product. But if you upset the left-leaning people, well, then you can get deplatformed, then MasterCard or Visa can stop doing business with you, you can be taken off PayPal, like the payment processors come in, you have activist groups that may pressure you in order to stop doing what you're doing, pressure other corporations not to do business with you, right? So pissing off the left is very difficult to handle in a business sense. But like, the left wasn't always like this. The left started the same way the right-wingers are starting now, by just flat out refusing to buy product. So for example, in the case of Chick-fil-A, you just had left-leaning people do activism, raise awareness, talk about how bad Chick-fil-A is, about their practices, and how they do not stand for this, blah, 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 blah. And eventually Chick-fil-A bend the knee. And they're noticing this happening with the right now. With the case of Budweiser, right? Like, a major company is losing a lot of money, not because it's getting canceled. Like, it's not like payment processors pulling out, banks refusing to do business. It's just like the average Joe refusing to buy the fucking beer. And the argument of buy the beer, you fucking bigot, doesn't seem to work either. So what they want is like, they want this controversy to go away. They want people to stop talking about it. They want people to move on because they're worried that they may target other companies. And in a world where both sides would have equal power, where if you piss off the left, you get the platform, and if you piss off the right, you get consumers not buying your product, the only solution is to focus on making a good product and staying away from politics. But that also brings in another problem with like, how do you get investor money? How do you access the ESG, right? Like, you're putting the companies in a difficult financial situation. So I don't think it's about trans people in particular, right? Like, they probably don't even care. I mean, they do businesses, like most of these multinational corporations do businesses in countries where LGBT is outlawed by default, by the legal thing, right? They do business in the Middle East. They do business in other parts of the world. They don't really care about these issues. You know, like maybe someone at the company that's middle management cares, but like overwhelmingly they care about the profits. So they don't want their profits to be affected. And this thing, this awakening, I guess, like this consumer consciousness that is growing about conservatives is what really scares them. Which can also have like political ramifications coming the next elections, right? So they do not want people to believe that there is a consciousness growing. They want people to remain atomized. They want people to remain in the current status quo where, you know, you feel that you're alone and isolated if you don't believe that Blizzard's character editor is the best one that was ever made in video gaming history. There's something wrong with you if you want sexy ladies in your video games, right? If you want your Western RPGs to look like South Korean RPGs, right? Like there's something that's not functioning with you. Like that's the mentality that they want people to have, because that's a great mentality to do business in. Instead of focusing on improving the product, instead of making the product better, all you have to do is to virtue signal. Anyone can virtue signal. Doesn't take much work. So I think this is why they're cracking down on these types of videos and this type of content, and why it's suppressing these these videos, right? Not just outright removing them. It's because they do not want the consciousness to grow into the mind of conservatives to be able, like, hey, like, we can actually punish these companies. Like, we don't have to buy from them. Like, if they outright antagonize us with whatever, like, when you're a consumer, you don't even have to justify yourself. If you see something that you don't like in their commercial, you can just not buy the product. And they don't want this mentality to happen. Let me know what you guys think, though. I'm really interested in this conversation, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.